Imagine a grand mansion, built in 1610, standing by the calm waters of the River Thames. This is Ham House, a magnificent Stuart palace, filled with mystery and elegance. But do not be deceived by its beauty, for it also holds a restless past. Ham House was originally built for Sir Thomas Vavasor, but it truly came to life with William Murray, a close friend of King Charles I, who received the property in 1626. After his death, his daughter, Elizabeth Murray, inherited the estate. Skilled and ambitious, Elizabeth became one of the most influential women of her time, holding on to Ham House through years of political upheaval. In 1672, Elizabeth married John Maitland and rose to even greater prominence, becoming the Duchess of Lauderdale. Together, they transformed Ham House into the most magnificent Stuart residence in England, expanding the mansion, filling it with treasures, and adorning it with the finest details of English Baroque design. But after the Duke's death in 1682, everything changed. The Duchess faced financial ruin and a lonely decline. Trapped in her once glorious home, she wrote despairingly, "I am a prisoner now in my beloved Ham House, and I will never leave." And perhaps, she never did. It is said that Elizabeth's spirit still lingers within these walls. In the Duchess's bedchamber, visitors describe an oppressive, heavy atmosphere. Strange footsteps echo when no one is there, the scent of roses drifts through the room, her favorite perfume in life, and a sinister reflection sometimes appears in her mirror. Even today, some members of staff whisper, "Good afternoon, your ladyship," before entering the room, just to be safe. But the Duchess is not the only presence here. Guests and staff have spoken of a woman in black gliding silently down the staircase, of sudden pushes felt on the third step, and of a ghostly little King Charles spaniel, once the Duke's companion, scampering through the corridors, forever playful, but forever spectral. On cold nights, others claim to have seen the restless spirit of John Macfarlane, a young servant whose tragic love story ended in despair. Before his death, he etched his name and date into a window, and some say his figure still drifts across the balcony, his sorrow unending. Today, Ham House stands preserved by the National Trust, almost frozen in time, a hauntingly beautiful capsule of the 17th century. Yet its silence is never truly empty. For those who visit, the sense of unseen eyes watching is hard to ignore. So if you ever wander through Ham House, and feel a sudden chill, or catch the lingering fragrance of roses with no clear source, it may not be your imagination. It may be her, the fiery, unyielding Duchess of Lauderdale, who once swore she would never leave her beloved home. And in death, just as in life, she never did. Tell me in the comments if you would visit this historic building. Our second haunted building and the Treasurer's House located in York. In the ancient city of York, where every street seems steeped in history, stands one of England's most haunted houses. This is the Treasurer's House, a grand building resting directly above the main Roman road that once led into the city nearly 2,000 years ago. Its walls hold centuries of stories, but it is what lies beneath that has secured its place in the Guinness Book of Records as the site of ghosts of the greatest longevity. Many visitors and staff have claimed to witness something extraordinary in its cellars, the spectral march of a Roman army. The most famous account comes from 1953. An engineer named Harry Martindale was installing central heating in the cellars when he suddenly heard the distant, mournful sound of a trumpet. Terrified, he watched in disbelief as the top of a Roman helmet slowly rose through the solid wall before him. Moments later, a ghostly horse appeared, followed by at least 20 legionnaires, dressed in tunics and carrying spears and round shields. But there was something strange. Martindale could only see them from the knees up. It was only later that archaeologists confirmed the old Roman road beneath the house lay several feet below the cellar floor, exactly where their legs would have been. Martindale's sighting was so vivid, so detailed, that it changed his life. He never again doubted the existence of ghosts. And remarkably, he was not alone in his vision. During the 1920s, when the house was privately owned, a grand fancy dress party was held. One guest wandered into the cellars, only to be confronted by a stern Roman legionnaire who barred her way with his spear. Confused but polite, she moved aside. Only later did she learn that not a single guest had come dressed as a Roman soldier that night. The ghosts of the Romans are not the only spirits said to wander the Treasurer's house. Visitors speak of footsteps echoing across empty rooms, doors opening on their own, and strange whispers in the dark. Some claim to see shadowy figures on the staircases, and others feel sudden drops in temperature as though unseen forces brush past them. The house itself has a history layered with intrigue. Built in the 11th century, it once served as the residence of the Treasurer of York Minster, one of the most powerful clerics in medieval England. Over the centuries it was rebuilt, expanded, and finally restored by the wealthy industrialist Frank Green in the late 19th century. Green was so exacting in his renovations that he declared no one should ever alter his vision of the house. He even threatened to haunt it himself should anyone change a single detail, a promise that some believe he has kept. Today, the Treasurer's house is cared for by the National Trust, and thousands of visitors walk its rooms each year. But in the stillness of its cellars, where the Roman road still lies buried, the past seems closer than anywhere else. If you ever venture down there and hear the faint echo of a trumpet, or the steady rhythm of marching feet, remember, you may not be alone. For the soldiers of Rome, long dead yet never at rest, are said to march eternally beneath the stones of York. Follow me for more stories of hunting places, and like this video if you enjoyed the content. See you soon.